Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor. I declare that the 638th Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. I am Dr. Susan Tai, and I have the great privilege to serve as McMaster University Provost and Vice President Academic. And this morning, I have the pleasure of serving as your Master of Ceremonies and welcoming all of you, graduates and guests, to this convocation ceremony. On behalf of the university, I would like to recognize and acknowledge that we meet today on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations, and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. We must remember that we all have a role in upholding the spirit of this agreement, which urged for the peaceful sharing of Earth's resources. We must also not forget that by merely acknowledging our presence on these traditional territories is only a small step on our shared path to reconciliation. I challenge you to consider how you can foster reconciliation among the many peoples that live on these lands. I would now like to take the opportunity to acknowledge some of the notable leaders joining me on stage today. Our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, Deputy Provost, Dr. Matthias Griselli, Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Steve Ranilovic, Vice Provost, Teaching and Learning, Dr. Kim Dye, Associate Vice President and Dean of Graduate Studies, Dean of Students, Mr. Sean Van Kunit, our faculty deans, Dr. Pamela Sweat, Dr. Jeremiah Hurley, and Dr. Khalid Hassanain. Associate deans, chairs, directors, faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal program, I kindly ask everyone in the hall to switch off any electronic devices that may ring or beep during the ceremony. Thank you. I would now like to call upon our Chancellor, Chancellor Santee Smith, to make her welcoming remarks and then deliver the Thanksgiving address.
Nyawa, thank you, Provost Tai. Sego Soaguego, greetings everyone. Watquinualado, welcome, honored guests, staff, faculty, friends, colleagues, and most importantly, graduands. We are gathered today to share, to celebrate accomplishments, and to extend our gratitude. It's an honor to be with you all today. Let us take a moment to acknowledge and express our gratitude through the Ohandu Galiwadegwe, the words spoken before all else, also called the Thanksgiving address, spoken in Gaingeha, the Mohawk language. Se watahosios ne gat ne galiwesa, ne ona, ne angali hohetste ne ganawala donsula. These are words of wisdom intended to unite our minds and hearts in acknowledgement, to give thanks, affirm our interdependence, to cultivate compassion and kindness to living entities, and to remind us of our responsibilities for sustaining nature's delicate balance and to encourage peaceful coexistence in alignment with the immensity of creation. Dayati nuwalaro ne ongwe su'a, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We offer greetings and our gratitude to people, human beings, our ancestors, our family, and friends. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne geti ni stoha johonjade, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We give thanks to Mother Earth. For our mother, she provides us with everything that we need to thrive and survive. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne ganega lunyo, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We offer greetings and gratitude to the waters, from the oceans to the streams, to the waters flowing in our body, and to the water that quenches our thirst. Water is life, and so we must keep it pristine. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne gonjonk su'a, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We give greetings to the fish life who help to purify the waters and provide us with nourishment. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne yotunduni, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We offer greetings and gratitude to all of the plant life, from the grasses to the medicines, which purify and strengthen our bodies. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne odzit no wa su'a, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We give thanks to the insects who help to pollinate the plants. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne jon hekwa, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We offer greetings and gratitude to our sustenance foods for providing us with nourishment and for their medicine. So be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne wahyari yunta, eto na yonto haget ne nagwat nagula. We give thanks to the fruit life who help to nourish our body. So be it in our minds. Daiti nualado ne gundirio, eto nayonta hagate ne niguat nigula. We offer greetings and gratitude to all of the animals, many who sacrifice their lives to help sustain us and who are our teachers and guides, so be it in our minds. Daiti nualado ne zit don ongua, eto nayonta hagate ne niguat nigula. We give thanks to the birds whose beautiful singing uplift our spirits, bringing peace and calm to our hearts, so be it in our minds. Daiti nawalaro ne galunda ongua, eto nayonta hage ne naguat nagula. We give thanks to every species of trees. We cannot live without the oxygen they provide us. Their roots and sap provide nourishment and cleansing for our body. We are grateful for their shade and shelter, so be it in our minds. Daiti nawalaro ne zowerla warnier eto nayonto hage ne naguat nagula. We offer greetings and gratitude to the circulating winds who travel the earth, bringing new life and breath. Through observing the winds, we recognize the cycling of seasons and messages about the environment, so be it in our minds. Daiti nawalaro ne ladiwerlas eto nayonta hege ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to the grandfather thunderers for purifying the air and awakening the earth and awakening us. The powerful voice of lightning and thunder bring on the replenishing and renewing rains, so be it in our minds. Datsi dawanuwalara ne anjogeni galakwa eto nayonta hage ne naguat nagula. We offer greetings and gratitude to our eldest brother, Sun, who appears consistently each morning to provide us with sunshine, protection, and energy for all living things to thrive, so be it in our minds. Daiti walado ne asatanega wat nirele eto nayonta hage ne naguat nagula. We give our greetings and thanks to Grandmother Moon for lighting up the nighttime sky and for her powerful pull on our waters, governing of cycles, women, and birth, so be it in our minds. Daiti walado ne yodzisto warlunyo eto nayonta ke ne naguat nagula. We give greetings and thanks to the stars, to the cosmos, for providing us with direction, guidance, and dazzling our eyes as we look into the nighttime sky. So be it in our minds. Daiti nuwalauda na deyonkiadadon eto na yontahagate ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to our protectors, our spiritual guardians, who provide us with clarity of mind and peace in our hearts. So be it in our minds. Datsi dawanualaro ne gansant stansor lagoa sa oyela eto na yontahagate ne naguat nigula. We give thanks to creation, the immense creative energy that lives and moves in every entity and that lives and moves in all of us. So be it in our minds. Da eto ni gawanage, da eto. This humble acknowledgement is a reminder of the immensity of creation, the creative living universe of which we as humans are a very small part. It frames our responsibilities as protectors of nature, active upholders of skana, and skana means peace and balance. Peace and balance within ourselves, in our relationships to kin, community, and the environment. And we are grateful to be present in this moment, in acknowledgement and celebration of all of your achievements, and to recognize each graduate. Your dedication and perseverance have led you to this significant milestone, and it's a day of celebration not only for you and but those who have supported you along your journey. Today, we acknowledge the support of family, friends, colleagues, and faculty and staff of McMaster University who helped to play a crucial role in your success, and I would like us to give them a round of applause. Now, graduates, you have achieved a great deal to get to this moment. Celebrate, be reflective, enjoy this time, soak it all in. Gyoyanale. Congratulations, and please enjoy the ceremony. Yahweh.
Thank you, Chancellor Smith. I would like to welcome Dr. Steve Ranilovic, Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies, to the podium to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Well, good morning, everyone. What a wonderful day to celebrate our graduates and the road taken to this moment. I remember taking this journey myself a while back, well, a long while back, I think some might say, and I can attest it's not an easy road. At points, you hit those flat spots that make things seem a little tedious. A lot of reading, taking notes, revising, and probably reading some more. And then suddenly you're at full speed with exams and papers, manuscripts, presentations, thesis drafts, all seemingly crashing towards you from all directions. Sometimes you even hit a dip in a road. Perhaps things don't seem as clear as you had hoped. Perhaps, a month-long experiment isn't coming to the anticipated conclusion. But whatever the challenge, you kept going. And suddenly a hill appeared, and there's no choice but to climb. It may be tough at first because there seems to be a bit of fog, and so you wade through some confusion, ask a lot of questions, and yes, probably do some more reading. But the higher you climb, the seemingly easier the climb gets. Those are the moments when your fingers can't type fast enough to keep up with your thoughts, or the days when everything goes your way in that lab or lecture hall. Then you get to the top, where the doubts and second-guessing fall away, and everything just feels right. So you start down the hill and continue on. Today, you're more than just being on the top of a hill. You're at the summit of a mountain, and this part of your journey ends here. But this ending is also a beginning, and you can see from your lofty vantage point roads that lead in all directions down the mountain. And now it's time for you to choose your next road. The next journey may continue into academia, or other avenues of research. It could lead to government and policy making. Perhaps it winds towards invention and entrepreneurship, or teaching, healthcare, creativity, and the arts. There are so many paths from which to choose. I'm privileged that you spent time at McMaster as part of your journey with us here, because you have enriched our community in immeasurable ways. This is an exciting moment. Revel in it, because you've earned it. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Dr. Ranilovic. I would now like to welcome Dr. Pamela Sweat, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, to the podium to present our honorary degree recipient.
Good morning, everyone. I would now like to present our honorary degree recipient, Chancellor Smith. By the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Patrick Dean. Patrick Dean graduated from the University of the Witwatersrand in South Africa before earning his MA and PhD in English literature from Western University. With a focus on the relationship between cultural production and British politics in the first half of the 20th century, Dr. Dean established himself as a formidable scholar in the field and was the first recipient of the John Charles Polanyi Prize for Literature in 1988. As Dr. Dean's career in scholarship and teaching progressed, so too did his career in administration. He held progressively more senior appointments at Western University, the University of Winnipeg, and Queen's University before he came to McMaster in 2010 as our president and vice chancellor. Serving in that role until 2019, he began his leadership at McMaster by authoring Forward with Integrity, a document that advanced new guiding principles for the university's strategic planning and identified areas of institutional focus, namely the student experience, community engagement, research, and internationalization. These priorities led to initiatives including the creation of the Network for Community Campus Partnerships, which evolved into the Office of Community Engagement, as well as the development of the Paul R. McPherson Institute for Leadership, Innovation, and Excellence in Teaching, which was a key factor in McMaster winning the second ever Global Teaching Excellence Award in 2018. During his McMaster presidency, Dr. Dean acted as a staunch advocate for the societal value of research-intensive universities and emphasized the importance of equipping McMaster students with the skills needed to engage thoughtfully and critically with the challenges facing our world. Steadfast in his commitment to advancing the university's leadership in key societal issues, he initiated McMaster's response to the report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada, reimagined the Equity and Inclusion Office, and appointed McMaster's first Associate Vice President of Equity and Inclusion. He also arranged for the university to serve as the host institution for Academics Without Borders, led McMaster's signing of the Magna Charta Universitatum, and oversaw the adoption of the Okanagan Charter, an international charter for health-promoting universities and colleges. At the same time, McMaster also reclaimed its designation as the most research-intensive university in Canada, and the university's position in global university rankings rose significantly, highlighted by the inaugural Times Higher Education University Impact Ranking, which placed McMaster second in the world for its contributions to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In 2019, Dr. Dean, a recipient of the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal, returned to Queen's University to become that institution's principal and vice chancellor. He is also president of the Governing Council of the Magna Charta Observatory and was a member of the group that developed the updated version of the Magna Charta Universitatum. Chancellor Smith, I have the privilege of presenting to you our former colleague and the 7th President and Vice Chancellor of McMaster University, Dr. Patrick Dean, so that you may recognize his contributions to our university by conferring upon him the degree Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Patrick Dean, by the authority of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa at McMaster University with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome on.
You can sign. Yeah. I would now like to invite Dr. Dean to deliver the convocation address.
Thanks very much. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. Chancellor Smith, President Farrar, distinguished visitors and colleagues, friends, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be back in the bosom of McMaster, as it were, and to be sharing this convocation with you all. And especially to be doing so in the company of my son Colin and his wife Jenny, who also made the trip from Winnipeg to join me for the occasion. I'm really pleased to have them with me today. And also so many friends and colleagues from my time at McMaster, as I will say, a deeply enriching period in my life. This degree is indeed an honor, and like all honors, I realize it needs to be understood as a gift, recognition of a bond that exists or has been built between two parties, and which is neither transactional nor ultimately quantifiable. So if you feel I have somehow earned it, that is certainly good enough for me. Thank you very much. I thank you for this gift and also for the great gift
There was the trust and friendship I enjoyed during my 9 years as president of McMaster University. The agreement which brought me here in 2010 initiated one of the most personally and professionally enriching periods of my life. So, in common with all of today's graduates, I can say that McMaster provided me with an outstanding education, leaving me transformed and empowered when I left. Now, I realize my saying that might strike some graduates as a little disconcerting. The thought that the university president is not all-powerful and all-knowing, but in fact learning on the job, improvising and desperately trying to keep up, this might make you feel a bit like taking driving lessons from an instructor who still has his head in the instruction manual. But that is a truth of life, I should say, worth remembering when you leave here today. We are all perpetual students, learning and developing as individuals within institutions and formal contexts, as leaders of those institutions, and as agents in society and in the world at large. To live is to learn, and to learn is to live. And there is, however, a further implication of that, which I'm sure will also cause you to shudder, graduates. Criticism, assessment, and judgment will be with you forever, decreasingly from sources outside of yourself, and increasingly from within. Remember that famous assertion of Socrates, an unexamined life is not worth living. So I'm sorry to say you may think that examinations are finally behind you, but except in that narrow sense, that is almost certainly not the case. I'd like to briefly share a moment of self-examination with you, one that arises from this particular situation, from the privilege of being invited to address the graduating class here in Hamilton. I've done a rough calculation of the number of times I addressed Convocation during my 9 years at McMaster, and my guess is that I stood at this podium on approximately 120 occasions. Today, fortunately, you're only going to have to listen to me once, but do think with pity and compassion of my friends and colleagues, many of whom are up here on stage with me, who were in fact with me on those occasions. It was a different speech every time, for every convocation season. There were 18 of those, and I did try to tailor my seasonal speech to the programs and disciplines that were graduating on any particular day. But despite that, I am aware that some of my colleagues did compete to see who at the end of each convocation season could most accurately recite my convocation address from memory. My money would have been on President Farrar, who could very easily have won the prize had he chosen to compete, as might Chancellors Red Wilson and Suzanne Labarge, with whom I also had the privilege of working during those years. But no matter how often you have a chance to address a graduating class like this, it is always an honor and always a pleasure. And it is also always an enormous responsibility. Because the person who stands at this podium is here not simply to share platitudes and to send you on your way with a cheer, but to continue your education by inviting you to reflect upon what you have learned so far and how, as you head out from this hall, your knowledge and experience as a McMaster student over the last several years can be translated into a way of being in the world. As you sit here today, you know what kind of a student you have been. My job is to make you consider what kind of an agent you will be in society and in the world at large. Now, the instrument of my own agency at this moment is speech. And it is through the exercise of my voice today that I seek to assist you all in finding that way of being in the world that I just mentioned. So I want to leave you with some thoughts about your own voices, about the privilege and power of speech, and the responsibilities that should attend its exercise. And when I talk about voice here, I'm of course intending to include all uses of language, spoken, written, or signed. Now, it's a strange irony that the person you see in front of you, the person who's given 120 addresses in this venue alone, as a young person, could never be cajoled to speak in a public setting. In high school in Johannesburg, South Africa in the 1970s, I was a very eager participant in theater. Acting was unquestionably my passion. But although I joined the debating society, I do not recall even once in 5 years standing up to speak at a debate. In fact, and this takes us back to the theme of betting and gambling, my fellow students used to place wagers on whether I would or would not speak. And needless to say, those who bet I would not speak usually won. Looking back on myself in that rather weird phase, I'd like to think there was more to my silence than sheer terror or fear of embarrassment in a public setting. I do recall being put off by what I perceived to be the performativity of debate, the taking of sides merely because sides needed to be taken, and arguments made in part to refute opposing arguments, yes, but mostly also to impress the audience, to elicit spontaneous applause or sudden eruption of laughter. It all seemed an invitation to casuistry, to clever or even extravagant rationalizations, to justify what, outside of the debating chamber and in our hearts and intuitions, might raise major questions of morality and ethics and have far-reaching consequences in the lives of people. The debating chamber was, in that sense, a playground for brilliant minds and eloquent voices, sheltered from the immediate pressures, dilemmas, and agonies of human life. Now, it didn't help me that amongst my peers in the debating society was the son of one of the country's leading advocates. The father of this individual was a mainstay of the defense team when Nelson Mandela and 155 other people were put on trial for treason in 1956. And the son was undoubtedly one of the most brilliant and articulate people I've ever known. So perhaps I was simply intimidated into silence, but I do believe today that part of the problem for me was the performativity of it all. Not that important questions with massive human consequences were not debated, but the setting was a privileged one, one in which no resolution was ever expected or intended to have practical consequences in the world outside. I say that without intending any criticism of debating as an activity. Indeed, debate as practiced in school and university is outstanding practice for a life engaged with moral and ethical challenges, for individuals who will ultimately wish to increase their agency in the world beyond the classroom or the academic cloister. Perhaps I unconsciously apprehended that truth during my high school years, otherwise I can't think why I continued attending debates, notorious for my silence as I was. In university, so much of our learning, when you think about it, is performative in a similar way. A rehearsal in safe and protected circumstances that prepares you to do your job, whatever that will be, in real time, among real people, and with real consequences. Many years later, I came across what may be one of Mohandas Gandhi's most severe observations about human beings and their impulse to speak. Speak only, he observed, if it improves upon the silence. The statement is probably derived from an Indian proverb, but its point is clear. Words are valuable and powerful, but not to be squandered or used in vain. Indeed, their power and value derives from their relationship with silence, with not speaking, which makes the word, when heard, doubly commanding of our attention. And the definition of commandment? A language act with more than the usual power to make things happen in the world and in society. As you can tell, I did break my silence eventually, and I wish I had done so much earlier than I did. As you can infer, my undergraduate years were spent in apartheid-era South Africa, within a context of profound social injustice and against a backdrop of institutionalized violence and dehumanization. Others did speak up more loudly and more effectively than I, and I remain deeply respectful and admiring of their example. They taught me why silence is a virtue until human suffering and injustice makes it culpable, an abdication of responsibility. And something of that lesson led me much later in life, and in a galaxy far, far away, to become an educator whose mission it is to preach the virtue of being quiet when speech does nothing for the greater good of humanity and the world we inhabit, and the responsibility to speak loudly, emphatically, and articulately when it has the potential to do so. Your possession of a voice is your greatest asset if you seek agency in the world. But that performative thing, the public voice cultivated as a kind of instrument, must humble itself before the great challenges faced by society and the planet. Those challenges are in fact an unrivaled justification for breaking silence and speaking out. They more than justify speech. They compel it. They make it a matter of human responsibility. It is one thing to sit silent when the issues being debated are moot. It is another to do so when every day human beings suffer violence and injustice, the planet and other living things are eroded and degraded, and a panoply of other voices, detached from reality by ideology, prejudice, and misinformation, are reframing the world accordingly. Fellow McMaster graduates, this is a time to speak if ever there was one. I'm deeply grateful to have had this opportunity to address you. My warmest thanks again to the University for the honor bestowed on me today, and my deepest congratulations and best wishes for the future to every graduate. I thank you all for listening, and I will leave it to you to decide whether or not my remarks were an improvement on silence. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dr. Dean. I would now like to welcome Dr. David Farrar, President and Vice Chancellor, to the podium to present the graduates to our Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduates please stand? This is the best part of the ceremony. They turn the lights on. We actually get to see you. Chancellor Smith, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great privilege to admit those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University with all the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all.
Graduates, I ask you now to join me on stage so that the Chancellor and I may welcome you into the McMaster community of scholars. I would be delighted to shake your hand, to bump fists, or to acknowledge your achievements without touching, our Chancellor will acknowledge your achievements without touching. Congratulations.
Graduands and guests, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduates, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Mehmet Hakul. Galini Gavrilidou. Mahina Mujib. Yuan Wei. Luis Fernando Navarro del Angel. Yihong Bai. Rabiul Islam. Muhelbula Karimzada. Julius Owusu. Stacy Ann Creech de Castro. Danielle Martak. Chantal Yvonne Mancini. Andrew Douglas Wilkin. Carlo Handy Charles.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree of Master of Business Administration. Rohel Abed. Alicia Agrawal. Sina Ahmadi. Mujahid Ahmad Zai. Hassan Ahmed. Gino Alberino. Kimberly Barbosa Alvarado. Judith Ogi Chuku. Carla Maritza Arsenault. Anil Basu. Adrian Bimon. Snezana Bronstein. Nicole Castanier Lavain. Liai Chi Chan. Amardeep Kaur Chima. Leon Justin Marshall Cox. Shane Crawford Cummings. Randall Alexander Danu. Emily Page DiMatteo. Christopher Doherty. Connor Eklund. Ehab El Hariri. Caroline Elston. Jeffrey Freeman. Alex Gao. Peter John Garrett. Francisco Gonzalez. Tyrone Bograndi. Jane Elizabeth Hilder. Cecilia Losif Dako. Krishna Jain. Naresh Kumar. Shubham Katir. Priyal Khattar. Ajay Krishnan. Valery Kuchar. Valery Kucherenko. Thomas Lee. Daniel Liang. Kenneth Kit Yin Liang. Cameron Shane George McLaughlin. Biju Mathai. Komal Meswani. Kareen Mezarhani. Jon Milosevic. Kurush Minosher. Margot Morgaranti. Anna Nguyen. John Papakiro. Vivek Patel. Nick Perdikaris. Brianna Piper. Douglas Anthony Proska. Warren Pulling. Indeep Singh Rucker. Nathan James Shui. Amar Basir Sheikh. Osama Shakil. Rehan Sharif. Alkesh Sharma. Brian Alexander Shepard. Jennifer Marie Smith. Andrew Smythe. Samantha Starsunsik. Jill Swenson. Jasmine Tay. Arun Kumar Kutikatalakan. Jayesh Tigdi. Shweta Tripathi. Delina Vezaz. Sandra Marie Vergili. Shruti Woha Kapoor. Maria Helena. Christina Westaway. Kevin White. Chaz Williams. Alicia Dawn Wood. Peter Wright. Min Zhang. Naomi Zhao. Shuishi Zhou. Jessica Gilbert-Brandt. Chancellor Smith, may I present to you the following graduate of the degree of Master of Finance. Ruhi Hu. Chancellor Smith, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree of Master of Health Management, my apologies. Tanya Elizabeth Burr. Michaela Henderson. Julie Johanna Huben. Alicia Leng. Nancy Leong. Katrina Janelle McKay. Jeenal Patel. Skylar Dawn Johnson. Christine Marie Sandiford. Win Ting Truong.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Arts. Harshvir Singh Bali. Rebecca Christensen. Christina Julia Steff. Razi Falasiri. Sarah Jafari. Yelena Marinich. Bianca Elise Tarantino. Sarah Beatrice Melanie Upshur. Taya Jeanette Clark. Ma Cristina de la Cruz. Julie Anna Margaret Fellmeyer. Megan Marshall. Isra Marie Martin. Mariana Martinez Guevara. Patrick Walter MacArthur. Syed Mohammed Mahakek. Tarndeep Kaur Panu. Chase Robert Thompson. Corin Urquhart. Jingyu Chen. Lirion Farizi. Karim Seg. Angela Yu. Manader Segal. Oops. Ayat Yunus. Claire Elizabeth Dellingwater. Grace Elizabeth Dobby. Michaela Maria Louise Grallman. Maria Hawk. Leanne Michelle Kelly. Jordan Lefebvre. Betsy Dennison Matthew. Zinzili Kube. Michelle Nusi. Jesse Sherlock. Nader Naji. Marian Alipur. Angelina Isabel D'Angelo. Olga Dvorova. Lisbeth Lopez Leon. Bisma Rehman. Attar Al-Hindawi. Taylor Allen. Matthew Robert D'Amico. Tiona Sonia Ford. Angelique Ragunot. Marine Shami. Marcus Achilles. Gabriela Dominguez. Mustafa Egal. Bayana Jivanji. Zema Kermani. Marissa Adelita Yunus Pendley. Sayeeda Fatima Abbas Rizvi. Aisha Akhtar. Cameron Beers. Brianna Kathleen Edeltro Kennelly. Kobe Man Y. Ko. Lauren Julia Rachopo. Sydney Ali Digweed. Andy Anim. Kalisha Lynn Harris. Hakeem Thair Mohammed Murray. Vincent Chun Ho Yuan. Jessica Carolyn Dunn. Tony Leah. Lindsay Elizabeth McNabb Gamble. Aidan McNally. Karanveer Singh. Ronahi Abdurrahman. Ela Baram. Andrew Michael Bradshaw. Lucas Montero Falco. Kezia Matthew. Michael Vincent Nolan. Stefano Tofoletto. Fora Pasha. Matthew Philip Trafford. Annie Bradshaw. Sarah Rose Shah Shui Coker. Alvina Hussein. Victoria Kiri. William Kuvutz. Kristen Garrick Munnings. Shamira Leah Akila Tashon Stinson. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Communications Management. Wait a minute. Fernando de Toledo Carnero. Amanda Fletcher. Alexander John Fred. Gregory John Lawrence Ieruso. Ebony Tara Johnson. Sabrina Lavi. Laura Watkins. Nicole Ray Woodall.
Chancellor Smith, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Science. Sanchita Ravishi. Chancellor Smith, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Social Work. Emily Altman. Lan Konan. Lan Koan Hu. Monica Krizik. Heather Ann Wild. Ziki Jordan Wang. Yang. Laya Baby. Namrita Kaur Bazi. Ifeoma Chuko. Zanub Motha Husan. Giula Leo. Rachuni Nicole. Krishnan Shimant Kumar. Tather Sodi. Marian Nabil Situl. Olivia Young.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Honours Bachelor of Commerce. Modupe Bright Adenrele. Stephanie Ann Bene. Angelica Esposito. Samantha Florin. Savannah Aina Teresa Comrie Hall. Jonathan Joseph Harley. Luisa Fernanda Hanau Ramirez. Roche Keane. Minyu Kim. Jules Consovi. Brenda Ann McRae. Stephanie Milliken. Deborah I. Musgrave. Joshua Thomas Sebastian. Ngozi Vivian Udekwe. Laura Van Hamelin. My apologies, those people were taking a degree in social work. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Honours Bachelor of Commerce. Ahmed Abdul Kader. Aisha Hassan. Mariana Antonini. Sue Christine Atala. Dinah Maria Aviles Garcia. Alex Breeden. Taylor Olivia Brooks. Brooks Simon Budisa. Thomas David Butler. Guanxiao Chen. Jie Cheng Chen. Lydia Tin Wai Chung. Kamil Mohammed Danab. Oyamipo Clinton Daramola. Daria Desai. Hasham Dogar. Yash Dosaja. Ruben Emmanuel Pillai. Vasco Gonzalo Gamero. Clayton Christopher Ross Ginn. Roland Goddard. Namunzaya Julia Hansen. Sama Emad Hitini. Herithik Joshi. Pavleen Kaulon. Pietra Ivan Olivia Kamstra. Tristan Hideki Kato. Gurleen Kaur. Tabitha Ashley Irene Kerr. Ayman Fahim Khan. Shania Kafya. Patrick Kubrak. Amanda Ashley Lewis. Hui Lin. Jiayu Liu. Angelica Liu. Zeyu Liu. Peter Joel Charles Hooper. Joshua Philip Joseph. Ashley Mainarich. Joel Jacob Matthew. Tanya Shrida Musur. Zibdial Lester Noel. Julian Anthony Pasquale. Samuel McIntyre Patterson. Andrew Jordan Parr. Justin Damien Pan. Luca Mercedes Phillips. Hao Yue Shin. Zachary Roth. Shu Yu Shi. Aidan William Tett. Daniel Tortis. Sebastian Tsang. Vanessa Annika Fogel. Yuan Jije Wang. Thomas Patrick Vitkovich. Hanlin Wu. Weilin Shi. Eric Yell. Chamberlain Jang.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Honors Bachelor of Arts from the Faculty of Humanities. Alyssa Christina Blasioli. Robert Peter Buttram. Hui Ying Chen. Elias Davis Darcy Ellis. Stacy Victoria De Berner. Abigail Elizabeth Hickerson. Huang Kai Huang. Sarah Jade Aina Ingram. Joshua Brennan Lilleman. Amanda Martins Vaz da Silva. Kenesha O'Leary. Marion Othman. Arjun Sham John Ram. Ali Ahmed Saud. Melissa Rose Broderick Sims. Trevelyn Nicole Anshan Snyder. Iyanualua Ovitor Soyanka. Abigail Paulette Stewart. Riley Carmen Troisi. Baiwensi Wong. Olivia Williams. Jennifer Catherine Wright. Yuhao Zhang.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Music. Abby Violet Anderson. Jordan Angela McLean. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Arts from the Faculty of Humanities. Taylor Bunduck. Danielle Desjardins. Rebecca Ann McFadgen. Christian Fabian Miranda Quadros. Aviva S. Zeldman.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Honours Bachelor of Arts from the Faculty of Social Sciences. Malia Ahmed. Amy Ann Alksnis. Ellie Arias. Emma Elizabeth Beattie. Yuhan Che. Rami Hussam Chuab. Alexandra Cynthia Rita Connor. Ria Daniel. Matthew James Dolan. Rojan Estaki. Nicholas Fowler. Emma Marie Jorge Furtado. Sarah Hill. Lucas Adam Hoffer. Ahmad Husseini. Christine Huang. Olivia Marguerite Humphreys. Quasi Afan Islam. Evan Atticus Kernigan. Charlotte Victoria Lake. Julia Abby Leonard. Rebecca Annalie McDougall. Tanya Mahendru. Ella Natalie Pryor. Manahil Qureshi. Anushka Lakshmi Rajaram. Latu Sabiskaran. Mahum Samad. Prapti Shakuma. Haley Marie Simpson. Rihanna Itza Martinez Soto. Malika Tauro. Abby Elizabeth Tristani. Jaylee Alicia Rose van der Kapel. Aubrey Winsek. Alison Sheila Ray. Ruyin Wu. Christian David Iglesias Arango. Linhan Zhou. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Honours Bachelor of Social Work. Stephen Pierre McCormick. Madeline Selina Westbrook. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Arts from the Faculty of Social Sciences. Tamim Abu Sawam. Laila Asmail Abu Bakr. Samantha Leslie Adamson. Hoda Al-Sadi. Zachary Barwick. Adam Kweku Brako. Yaning Ding. Hao Jing. Brendan Kafko. Shuai Liu. Yogita Manchanda. Andrea Jean Moore. Rachel Renee Morin. Tegan Emily Morris. Dushan Radishich. Sangeeta Raman. Grant William James Ramsey. Yusuf Shahan. Shante Kennedy Rowe. Abigail Lorraine Weisler. Molly Wilkins. Winnie Shu.
Well, let's give one more round of applause for our graduates. Woo! Honored guests, I would now like to introduce Meira Shahimi, a graduate of the degree of Master of Arts from the Global Politics program, who will be delivering the valedictory address.
Good morning, bonjour, and assalamu alaikum to the esteemed faculty, proud families, loved ones, and of course, our brilliantly accomplished class of 2023. I'd like to notably address our inspiring stage party, including Chancellor Smith, President and Vice Chancellor Dr. Farrar, our Master of Ceremonies and Vice Provost Academic Dr. Tai, Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies Dr. Hanilovich, Dean of the DeGroote School of Business Dr. Hassanein, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, Dr. Sweat, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. Hurley, as well as the rest of our university leaders and faculty members who could join us this morning. McMaster University is situated upon the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations. It wouldn't make sense for me to be on the stage today without first and foremost recognizing my position as a settler. With the privileged platform I have today, it is my responsibility to shed light upon the fact that, despite being a child of immigrants from a once colonized land, I will always have more privileges upon a land that is not mine. More especially and heartbreakingly so, I will always have more rights than the original owners of this land, and upon this bittersweet occasion, I urge you all to complete a reading on the ongoing struggles and plight of Indigenous Native populations from here on Turtle Island to Palestine to Kashmir and beyond, so we can learn from the horrifying injustices both past and present. Human life is not disposable, a reminder that should ring throughout our professional and personal journeys. Now, with the recognition of my privilege, I am very honored to deliver this morning's valedictory address. Let me take you all back in time, just for a moment. It was Friday, March 12th, 2020, and everything turned dark. A sense of panic set in. Having just stepped into my first year of university, I had no idea what would be to come. Though immediately panicked, with time, and we had so much of it, my sense of curiosity piqued. I sought out a match in the dark, lighting my first candle of many to come. Little did I know, each one of us would be lighting similar candles across the world, navigating the unique turbulence of a pandemic, tailor-fit to each of our lives. The classes of 2021, 22, and 23 are like none else. Having grown and transcended through a most unprecedented time, grown and transcended beyond traditional physical space, we've stretched every known limit and, alhamdulillah, thanks to God, made it through. But we weren't exactly alone. And thus, I'd like to give an ode to the generations before us who stretched their limits. From the indigenous traditions which shaped our land to the rich migrant cultures that continuously broaden our perspectives, we are so indebted. Most of us can trace back our ancestry to one, if not multiple, routes of migration. As one by one, they would leave every comfort once known to them in search of better. A story echoed by my own parents, by my colleagues, by many of our friends here today. And perhaps it is because we got all too comfortable with our lifestyles that on March 12, 2020, we were all mandatorily shook. Some of us began to introspect and seek our purpose without the input of others for the very first time. We inched towards goals we never would have imagined for ourselves. We lost relationships, finding new versions of ourselves and the legacies of those past, or rekindling new ones within our households and beyond, as space was no longer limited to just the physical. Through these new transcendental spaces, our opportunities for growth became infinite. COVID-19 truly emphasized the value of hope, more than a mere passive emotion. Hope, despite the darkness embodying you in the moment, is the active force propelling you forward. It was you lighting that very first match. It was the midnight candle illuminating our late-night study sessions, our determination to overcome technical glitches, sir, I think you're on mute, and our commitment to staying connected despite physical distance. As today marks the end of a chapter, let us not forget the legacy we carry as McMaster alumni. I've tailored a piece on the beauty of parting to end my remarks today. It closes with the Arabic word maktub, translating into destiny, or it's written, a sentiment I hope can resonate deeply as we depart from the shores of McMaster into new tides, new seas, new chapters. But this shore we depart from will always be a home, mustn't we forget? To be beautiful in your parting fosters recognition of causation. Just because you've outgrown your previous state doesn't mean you cannot reflect bittersweet upon this new break. Home is all but a place, for a place can be a home, but home is so much more than mere space we occupy. Space we outgrow, but true home stems from within, through the remnants of our comforts coming forth in ever so destined interactions. In every soul we're blessed to meet, each lesson we've come to learn, sometimes to stay in just one place, to associate home with just a space, could delay the innumerous blessings yet to be experienced, of the experiences, love, and opportunities only ever destined for you. True home translates beyond borders, residing in our character in every way in which we carry ourselves. For we are a mosaic of every soul with an influence unto ours. And what is a more beautiful way to do these legacies justice than to carry these homes with us wherever we may go? And so appreciate the lessons learned, the blessings gained. Let us beautify our parting in connection here one last time, as we avail ourselves to a realm of divine virtues perfected. Maktub, the best is already written. Thank you so much, and a huge congratulations to the class of 2023.
Thank you, Mayreen. May I now invite Dr. Pamela Sweat, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, to present the Distinguished Alumni Award for Arts and the Distinguished University Professor Award.
I would now like to present our recipient for the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Award for the Arts, Dr. Konrad Eisenbichler. Konrad Eisenbichler earned his BA in French and Italian and his MA in French at McMaster University and was a summer lecturer at Mac while he completed his PhD at the University of Toronto. He joined the faculty in the University of Toronto's Department of Italian Studies in 1982, and he has been there ever since, earning promotion to full professor in 1999 and recently becoming professor emeritus. He has held an appointment in the Renaissance Studies program since 1985 and cross-appointments in the Department of History, Department for the Study of Religion, Center for Medieval Studies, the Bonham Center for Sexual Diversity Studies, and the Center for Drama, Theater, and Performance Studies. Best known for his interdisciplinary scholarship in sexuality, gender, history, religion, and literature in the Italian Renaissance, Dr. Eisenbichler is also a significant voice in the study of Italian immigration in Canada. His work in literary translation has garnered awards, including the International Literary Prize Umberto Saba and special recognition from the Italian government's Committee for the Promotion of Italian Culture Abroad. Similarly, Dr. Eisenbichler's scholarly work is also award-winning. His monograph, The Boys of the Archangel Raphael, a youth confraternity in Florence, 1411 to 1785, received the Howard A. Marraro Prize for Best Book of the Year from the American Catholic Historical Association, while the book The Sword and the Pen, Women, Politics, and Poetry in 16th Century Siena won the prestigious Ennio Fiano Prize for Italian Scholarship. His more recent published works include A Companion to Medieval and Early Modern Confraternities in 2019, and in the same year, Forgotten Italians, Julian Dalmatian Writers and Artists in Canada. Dr. Eisenbichler has been president of the 16th Century Society, of the Canadian Society for Renaissance Studies, and of the Canadian Society for Italian Studies. He was chair of the Toronto Renaissance and Reformation Colloquium and director of the Center for Reformation and Renaissance Studies. He was also a three-time president of the Julian Dalmatian Federation of Canada. A fellow of the Royal Society of Canada since 2014, Dr. Eisenbichler is a foreign member of the Ateneo Veneto di Scienze, Lettere ed Arti in Venice, who was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Canadian Society for Renaissance Studies in 2012. His lists of awards also include the Gold Medal from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Trieste, Italy, the Medal of Merit from the region of Friuli, Venezia Giulia, and the Julian Dalmatian Dignity in the World Award, among others. In 2010, Dr. Eisenbichler was knighted by the President of Italy at the rank of Knight Commander in the Order of Merit of the Republic of Italy, and 4 years later was inducted into the Cavaliere di San Marco, Knights of St. Mark. Earlier this year, he was appointed to the Order of Canada, the first Italian studies scholar to receive that honor. McMaster University is proud to recognize Konrad Eisenbichler of the MAC classes of 1973 and 1974 with the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Award for the Arts. The Distinguished University Professor title recognizes exceptional McMaster faculty who lead in all the areas that make up a well-rounded scholar. Not only do nominees achieve outstanding research with a global impact, but they also demonstrate excellence in teaching, mentorship, and community service throughout their careers. The title, which is restricted to no more than 2% of all full-time faculty members, is the highest honor the university can bestow. It is my great pleasure to present the Distinguished University Professor Award to Dr. Daniel Coleman. Congratulations, Dr. Coleman. I encourage everyone to follow the QR code in your program to read about Dr. Coleman's career.
Congratulations, Dr. Eisenbichler and Dr. Coleman. I would now like to draw your attention to the screen, which will feature a message from the McMaster Alumni Association.
Hello, I'm Kareem El-Imam. I graduated from McMaster in 2006 with a Bachelor's of Science. I'm the current president of the McMaster Alumni Association. In 1894, at the end of our university's first convocation, there were 16 McMaster alumni. Today, you join a family of more than 229,000 alumni in 144 countries. All of us have back memories, just like you do. We remember our classes and clubs, our labs and sports. We look back on friends and challenges, on Max places, and people, and we know that we share connections with thousands of other MAC grads. The McMaster Alumni Association's job is to give all of us, including you, pathways to connect and engage with our fellow grads and our alma mater. We can help you grow professionally, learn from fellow alumni, and take care of everything from insurance to real estate to financial services and so much more. Today is about you and your graduation, but when you're ready, your Alumni Association will be here. Until then, congratulations and welcome to the MAC Alumni family.
May I now invite Dr. Farrar to the podium to deliver his President's Address.
Chancellor Smith, distinguished guests, award winner, faculty, members of the McMaster community, members of the McMaster graduating class of 2023, friends and family. One of the real privileges of my role as president is to speak to the graduates on the occasion of your convocation, to offer congratulations on behalf of the university, and to tell you how proud we are of you, how very proud I am of you. During your time at McMaster, we have experienced exceptional levels of disruption when the COVID pandemic forced us all to radically change our ways of teaching and learning. Nonetheless, you persisted, and here you are today. We've heard some inspiring remarks today from the beautiful Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address from our Chancellor, the great advice from our former President, Dean, and the thoughtful words of our valedictorian. Let me add a few final thoughts before we close the ceremony. The world you are graduating into can be distinguished from previous ones by its complete interconnectedness. Today, information on most topics is just a click away. We can find material on any subject by cruising the web in search of interesting stories, ideas, photographs, and opinions. Having so much information available is useful, but it's also led to the belief that we can all be experts on everything, from science and politics to culture and religion. Of course, reading a few articles on the internet does not make anyone an expert. As one American researcher put it, Google isn't graduate school. One of the problems with this growth of internet expertise has been an increase in people's reliance on easily available information, quickly absorbed, much of it misinformation, and the devaluation of real expertise. And as many of our researchers have pointed out, the rampant distrust of expertise can have real-life, severe consequences. Last year, a grassroots movement, fueled in large part by anger and frustration, but also misinformation, arrived in Ottawa in a large convoy of big trucks and air horns. A year and a half later, we're still trying to understand what led to the development of the Freedom Convoy and what it means for Canadian discourse and decision-making. The public fights about masks, vaccines, lockdowns, and the idea of public health expertise that can be disposed is an example of the deep divide in Canadian society. Earlier this year, the Public Policy Forum of Canada surveyed 1,500 young adults from across Canada on the question of polarization. Among its findings, the forum consultation revealed that many young adults feel anxious, exhausted, and stifled by polarization in the media, the political movements, and in their own lives. They're looking for ways to have conversations without being canceled, to be supported when they're discussing ideas of importance to them. They identify the need to build or rebuild trust in leaders in our civic society, and they want to be able to rely on experts when talking on issues that matter to them, including climate change, mental health, and affordable housing. So what does this have to do with your graduation and with the journey that begins now? One of the privileges of working and studying in a research-intensive university such as McMaster is the opportunity to spend time with people who are considered knowledgeable or experts in their field. Experts exist for a reason. They have dedicated years of their lives to study, research, and practice in their respective fields. They provide us with insights and solutions that benefit society. They are the ones who help us make sense out of the complexities of the world, and they play a critical role in driving progress. They help guide us. Studying alongside experts and learning to think critically about big questions is the reason why people come to university. It is an opportunity to examine data, to consider different perspectives, to look at history, to seek information outside of your bubble, to make time for courageous conversations, to debate, to hear dozens of different viewpoints, interpretations, and theories, to change your mind or to develop a more complex understanding of difficult issues, to look for truth in unexpected places, to begin the process of becoming an expert. We are undoubtedly facing very serious issues today, local, national, and globally, some of which are existential in nature. These issues require us to participate in complex, compassionate, and thoughtful conversations to formulate responses together that are fair, equitable, and compatible of meaning and impact. Whatever your area of study, your McMaster education has equipped you with the power to address the most pressing issues of our time, from climate change to public health to social justice to economic inequality. We need your intelligence, your passion, and your expertise more than ever. We also need your energy in the vital project of rebuilding trust in our institutions and our experts. During your time at McMaster, you will have had the opportunity to think deeply and critically about your subject area of study and to listen to others with differing ideas and interpretations. I am confident that you will take the expertise and the insights from your time at McMaster and you'll use those in building trusting relationships in your career and in your life. And finally, as many others have noted, it takes a village to get most of us to the accomplishment as large as a university degree. I hope that you'll take some time to thank all of those people in your lives who've helped you get here. The end of your studies and the granting of your degree may feel as if you're crossing a finish line, but you are actually just beginning. And I wish you the very best in your journey.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. May I now invite Chancellor Smith back to the podium to deliver the closing remarks.
Yoyanale. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Yoyanale translates to well done or good job, and I'd like us to shout it out. Repeat after me. Yo. Yo. Yan. Erle. All together. Yoyanale. One more time. Yoyanale. Yoyanale. I'd like us to come back to the mindfulness that we heard in the Thanksgiving address, a reminder of our gratitude and interconnectedness, and the responsibility we bear for the world we leave behind. In closing, let us reflect on all of the great offerings we heard today, upon the principle of the dish with one spoon, and I'll leave you with another call to be led by, and it's the seventh generation teachings. The seventh generation principle is this: the decisions you make today will impact the next 7 generations. It's the wisdom of forward thinking, upholding sustainability and the well-being of the planet and all of its inhabitants for generations to come. We are all in this together, extending out into our future kinship. As we celebrate the achievements of the graduands, we look forward to the positive impact you will undoubtedly have on your communities and the world. Maureen, Dr. Coleman, Dr. Becker, and Dr. Dean, congratulations on your achievements and for sharing your work with us and sharing your journey to inspire us. As Karim eloquently said, you are all now graduates and members of the McMaster alumni family. Nyawe, Dr. Farrar, for sharing your words of wisdom and your insight, and for charging us with purpose. And one of the most things is to continue to learn and to continue to question. Best wishes to you all. Now, in closing, I have a few final announcements. A reception will be held for the graduates and their guests in Wentworth Room B and C in Hamilton Convention Center, immediately following the ceremony. I also encourage all graduates and their guests to make their way up to the mezzanine level, where there are a number of photo opportunities that have been set up outside of the Great Hall. Finally, I would ask that you remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. Now, please join in the singing of the national anthem. After the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned. Yahweh.
In all of us come.
you.